not Kimmel.
Elijah Wood
Fallon.
was on.
He was on
Fallon.
Fallon plugging Wilfred.
Uh-huh.
And he said that he's actually going to be in The Hobbit.
Oh,
Because
really?
The Hobbit is supposed to be like it's technically Bilbo's
right,
story.
It's Bilbo's
and so
story.
he's writing it. And so they said that what they've
But Frodo shows up like Frodo has a very very he appears in the
from
book.
what they were talking about, for whatever either of them know, they appeared to not think so. But what they're doing is they're bookending it so that I'm gonna
get tons of shit from people who have read The Lord of the Rings and is like Frodo's not in it.
Well, we didn't say that we knew, and we're going on what I told you. I think I knew. And they said that they're getting him and the guy who played old Bilbo.
Really?
And
he's going to play.
They're bringing both of them back, and they're
Huh.
old Bilbo.
Well, the guy who played Bilbo in the movies.
Right. They're getting him.
Uh-huh.
And they said that they're going to, like, his appearance and old Bilbo's appearance are going to serve to sort of bookend the film. The story.
Right.
The story.
That makes sense.
Should be interesting.
I just wonder who they're going to get to play Bilbo for the majority of the film.
It's Martin Freeman, I think.
Oh, really? I didn't know that had been cast.
I'm not glaringly wrong on that one, but I think it's Martin Freeman.
Gordon Freeman.
Yeah.
Is he any relation?
Same person.
Same person.
One's very tall and has a beard and is bespectacled.
I wanted to mention this to you earlier because we were talking about Gordon Freeman, and it was at my brother's high school graduation. But a friend of my brother's, his dad looks exactly like Gordon Freeman.
Yeah.
And Jake got a picture of it, and we're gonna Photoshop his head onto Gordon Freeman's body.
And then just have, like, in the meme block print, all hail the free man, you know.
Exactly. No, but he's just like the spitting image of Gordon Freeman. Like,
really?
He had the haircut, he had the glasses, the goatee. It was just like...
Sounds like Earth is safe if it happens.
Well, if he was able to come to a high school graduation, then yes, he probably had already saved the world.
Yeah.
Or he was neglecting his duties.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Look, I get that it's your son's graduation and all, and that's great, but there's an alien invasion.
There's an alien invasion.
You're just being selfish. You're just being selfish. Here's the crowbar. Go do what you do best.
Your paid time off was when you went on vacation in Ravenholm. So
yeah, that place was good. Yeah.
It's not.
Listen, you had a nice time. You hung out with that crazy monk with the shotgun. Shotgun? What?
He had a shotgun.
What? No, he gives you a weapon.
What
gives
weapon
you a
shotgun.
Is it the shotgun?
Yeah, he tosses you the shotgun.
Okay.
I was like, it was really scary too. Just that whole vibe. Like, they weren't necessarily aliens, but they were kind of like they were zombie alien kind of things.
People possessed by head crabs.
Yeah.
Right?
Head crabs.
That
sounds like something else.
I've got crabs. Head crabs? No, just
normal crabs.
Oh. Yeah, I can just imagine that, you know.
But speaking of zombies...
Oh, well, it's not that bad, then. Date over!
Deal breaker. No, but...
And that's why I drank alone for the rest of the night. No.
Forever alone. No, but speaking of zombies, we were talking about The Walking Dead. And that comes back in... August, I think.
I don't know.
But you haven't paid attention to that show.
It was a summer show before, right? So
no, because it extended until
it started at Halloween. That's right. That was the whole gimmick. It started at Halloween. Yeah.
So it's going to start, I think, in August or September, I think.
Okay.
It's starting up pretty quick here, but you haven't seen the first season.
Haven't seen it. And it's embarrassing because I know people that don't like zombie vampire mystical, ethereal being fantasy shit, and they love this show, and they're like, how is it possible that I have seen this and you have not?
Right.
You know, and then they start getting worried and self-conscious that they're turning into me, and of course that terrifies them completely.
That's a very legitimate fear.
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah.
No, but
Dick.
It was one of those shows that was based on a comic book. The Walking Dead. It was
graphic novels.
Graphic novel.
You're doing the medium no
justice. You know what?
You know,
it's the same.
Comic books are when you have no intention of ending it. Everyone's gonna write in. Actually, comic books can end and blah 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 and shut up.
I feel like they're interchangeable because graphic novels have, there are series of graphic novels and they go on for a very long time as well. But it's the connotation I think between the two words. But
there's a high art, low art labeling there,
right?
That goes
which
on.
is unfortunate because it's
right.
Not necessarily what's true about it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm Zander.
I'm Nick.
And this is our podcast. And this time we're not going to talk about video games.
We're going to try. Let's just preface it with that. We will try not to.
We had some Half-Life in there.
We have an intent not to.
Yes. We'll try.
We all know about the best laid plans, though.
Yes.
The road to hell is paved with
video games, apparently. Anyway, The topic for this time, we were going to talk about TV shows, sort of shows that we've enjoyed over the years, and maybe some that are going on right now.
Quite a few going on right now, I think.
And,
well, not right now as in like
not
summer,
right now.
They're on hiatus, but...
They come back in the fall, or whenever.
Or in the spring.
Yeah. And maybe you watch some of these, and maybe you don't, but figured sort of just give a little background as to what shows we're watching, and maybe there's some sort of overlap, and you'll agree with us, or maybe you'll disagree with us.
Maybe you suck.
No, we're not going to put it like that.
Sorry.
So abrasive. Everyone just stopped listening right there.
Everyone's like, maybe I do. Click.
Maybe I hate you. Dislike. Navigate away from video.
Yeah. I'm going to go watch Marmaduke. Great movie, by the way.
I'm not going to touch that one.
It's not a great movie, by the way.
Did you see it then? Then how do you know?
It's supposed to be like the worst movie of last summer, apparently. It's got the guy from Pushing Daisies, which is a topic we will touch later, and that was the segue, which I just came up with.
Anyway, so talking about our favorite shows, Pushing Daisies, that's one of them.
Pushing Daisies.
If you haven't heard about the show.
Yeah. I think I missed like the last like 4 episodes, but
it wraps it up pretty nicely if I remember right.
Yeah. It's always interesting when you have a show that ends up getting canceled and yet they still manage to.
That was on Fox, wasn't it?
No, that was ABC.
I was gonna say Fox has a terrible track record. Like, I'm so willing to just blame them immediately for any show that gets canceled that's good.
Fox, like, so are the ratings good? No. Is it costing us $5 or less to make this? No. Why do we have this program?
What is this?
What is this? Mm-hmm. We need people fighting cougars.
They have no shows about that.
They had that show. It was called Man vs. Beast, and they would make humans compete with animals. I think it was Man vs. Beast in different events, like running and jumping and shit.
I thought like you would like throw. That's not like a gladiator type thing.
Listen.
That's what it sounded like.
I watched Man vs. Beast with the intent that the program would go from what I was watching to what you were suggesting.
Just gladiatorial combat between like a tiger and...
I mean, it wasn't live, so there was no chance that things were just going to go awry and, someone was going to get mauled.
That's good then, I guess, that nobody died during that kind of a thing.
Yeah, but I mean, Fox had that. Fox had, I think they had Who Wants to Marry a Millionaire? You don't remember this?
No.
It lasted like 2 episodes, and I was like, that's a stupid question.
I feel like there were like a million shows like that.
Yeah. Well, Fox jumped on the reality TV thing, and then they said, we need to make a lot of these, and they need to be cheap, and we've proven that reality TV is what people want, and so quality doesn't matter.
I feel like you can't compete with like MTV for reality TV. Like MTV has that in the bag. Oh my gosh.
They have like reality TV that's like not competitive. They've got all of that real life stuff.
But I mean that's
like
reality
Survivor.
TV. Like like Survivor, that stuff's not necessarily reality TV in the same sense that like.
But I think that's what we've
MTV
understood reality TV to be now.
Right, and I think that's what it's become because of
Big Brother. Like well, Big Brother's kind of like the hybrid of Survivor's competitiveness along with the real lives living together and having to coexist.
Right.
I want the Survivor where it's Survivor meets Battle Royale, and they actually
they
fight each other. Well, I mean, I know that they've done movies and stuff like this. Whatever. Let's make it real. Anyway.
Back to we sort of segued away from Pushing Daisies.
Pushing Daisies.
But Pushing Daisies. I mean that was a great show that I don't think a lot of people knew about.
Yeah, I mean, it lasted
sort
for
of
2 seasons, so it wasn't like something that came and went for 4 episodes on ABC and then left. It was a pretty solid 2 seasons on ABC.
For those of you who haven't watched the show, I mean, the show is about a guy who can touch things and bring them back to life, but once he touches them again, they return to being dead. But if he leaves something alive for more than, I think it was a minute, something else has to die.
Right, there's a sense of equilibrium to it, and I think he have a problem because he doesn't understand that that's how it works at first, and so he brings back...
he knows that that's how it works, but when he first
but he only knows that because of the consequence of
right. So I mean, yeah, if he brings anyone back for more than a minute, something or someone else has to die,
right?
And so the first few episodes are all about him helping this police officer who's played by
I think he's a
Chi McBride.
Independent detective, but yeah.
Sorry, yes, independent detective. but he helps him solve crimes by bringing the dead people who were, people who were murdered.
In the morgue, yeah.
He brings them back to life, and then he has like a minute to try to figure out how they died.
Right.
And then they try to solve the case based on that, which really makes it interesting, I thought.
It's like Minute to Win It with murder.
Yeah.
Without that chef guy with the spiky hair.
It was definitely not something that was dark. Like, it wasn't like, your NCIS or Law and Order or Cold Case or something.
It wasn't even like darkly comical. It was very
oddly
bright. Upbeat.
It was upbeat and
they would just hang out in the morgue, and he would touch the body, and sometimes the person would spend forever not even wanting to address how they were murdered or whatever or whatever happened, and
it was never really gruesome or anything. Sometimes, but it was like comically gruesome. In a certain way.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a really, really good show, and I mean, it's sort of hard to describe sort of the charm. And, I don't know, like everything that the show was about, but it was very, it was sort of uplifting, and it was really interesting to see the interplay between the characters in that show. I mean, especially since, because of the main character's ability, like he could touch certain things, and if they were like, because he runs a bakery.
Right.
And he buys, he buys spoiled, it was a restaurant, but he would buy like spoiled fruit and stuff and make pies out of it, and because it was spoiled, he could like touch it and it would not be spoiled anymore, but then he couldn't eat any of his own pies because if he were to touch them again, then it would be rotten.
Right. Is it worth bringing up at all, like the most important thing that he brings back to life, or is it's
well, that happens
tricky
in,
because
that happens in like episode 2, I think.
Right. It's 1 or 2, and the thing he brings back to life plays a large amount, a large role in the rest of the show. So I don't know if we should.
I think it should be brought up. I mean, it's definitely not a spoiler in any sense, I think.
Right.
So he brings. It's during a case. He brings. What I don't even remember what happens, but he brings a girl back to life.
Right.
And keeps her alive.
I don't remember how she died, though.
But he doesn't touch her again to make her die, and
right.
So she stays alive. And you actually don't see the repercussions of that until later. There's an episode where they talk about the repercussions of that choice,
right?
Of what is taken in exchange for her life. But she does become the sort of the love interest. But the problem is, there's no sort of intimacy involved because she would die.
Well, it becomes very they get creative.
Right.
And I don't even mean that in a weird or dirty way. They just...
But because of that, it sort of keeps that tension there throughout the show. And I mean, like a lot of other shows where they have the romantic interest in the show...
Won't they? No, they won't.
They can't, because...
I feel like there's an elephant in the room.
Yeah. And the elephant is...
Is imminent death upon being touched.
Exactly.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, so I really liked that show, and I think definitely hunt it down. I think it's on, you can find it online, and
yeah,
DVD and
DVD,
all sorts of other things. Like I think it's on, because you said it was ABC. I think it's on ABC's website, but I don't think it's on Hulu or anything like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that was just a really, really great show, and definitely go see it if you haven't.
It didn't do that well in the ratings, but because it was ABC, it got 2 seasons. And another show that had the exact same scenario, which we forgot on this list, but
yes,
I'll just quick plug it right here. Exactly. Eli Stone.
Both of those shows, I feel like maybe they got either their writers knew that they weren't going to get another season, or maybe that's just how they chose to wrap up their final season. But I think both of those shows, Eli Stone and Pushing Daisies, their second season wrap up was actually pretty strong.
Yeah.
Which was sort of strange to me, because usually you get that weird, like, a lot of shows go
get
for
that
like
weird,
the cliffhanger.
Like, we're confident, we'll be back.
Yeah.
You know?
And then no.
Yeah, and then whoops. So
exactly.